Hey everyone, welcome back to your weekly wellness dose, Monday's Muse. Today we have Mady Martin. She is like a fire powerhouse, full of fire, and she's a powerhouse instructor locally in the Louisville area. And you are definitely in for a treat. So we're going to wait a few minutes for her to join, and we'll be getting started very soon. So just to kind of give you a little bit of background on her, she's a 20-something fitness instructor, certified, teaches at many studios in town. She teaches at Cycle Bar, which is my favorite, one of my favorites, Shred 415 in the Highlands and out Hurstbourne. And then she also teaches at Yoga State, which is another amazing studio. Might have seen Abigail on here a couple weeks ago talking about mindfulness. Well, now you get to hear from an amazing, amazing guest. So, of course, quick disclaimer as well while we wait. Everything that we are saying is based on our personal experiences, based on our education and everything like that. So we're not giving any type of, medical advice or anything. Of course, if you choose to take any advice, that is your choosing. So please just know that and consult with your doctor. But yeah, we're going to talk all about how she's more than an instructor. As a fitness instructor myself, I know that a lot goes into it, and Mady is amazing. So you have, lots to learn from her. Hey, thanks for joining. Mady, for some reason, it won't let me request you. Okay, I can now. All right, so she should be joining any second now. Hey!
Hi!
Thank you. I'm so excited. I was so happy when you accepted my request to join the show.
Of course, girlfriend.
Yes. So as I mentioned, Maddie's awesome. I actually just had a giveaway winner the other day that I met to give her a prize, and she was talking about how she loves your classes and is trying so hard. So I let her in on my secret on how I get in to classes.
Yeah, girl.
So yes, we have lots to talk about. So first, Mady, for those that don't know you, would you mind just tell a little bit about yourself?
Of course, yeah. So my name is Mady, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I've pretty much been here ever since I've been growing up, all that kind of stuff. I'm a fitness instructor, so I teach at 3 different studios. Actually 4, but really 3 different companies. So for Cycle Bar, I'm a cycling instructor there, and then I'm an instructor at Shred 415. There's 2 different locations in Louisville, and that's basically an interval training type of workout between a floor and treadmill. And then I also teach at a yoga studio called Yoga State, and I teach kind of a self-resistance class with TRX and abs and just all based on body weight type of resistance training. But yeah,
Awesome.
that's pretty much it.
Yes, and she has great classes, as I mentioned, that fill up quick, but get on the wait list. It's worth it. You might get in. So yes, tell me a little bit about how you started your fitness or your wellness journey.
Yeah. So if I dive way deep into it, my dad and my mom both kind of made my sister and I work out all the time, starting when we were pretty young. They would get us up early in the mornings to go to the YMCA and start just walking on the treadmill and stuff like that. So I pretty much grew up just in movement, and then sports were a huge part of my life through school, high school, all that kind of stuff. So then when I got to college, I basically was I need a way to stay in movement because sports are kind of over. So I got into going to the gym, going to different group classes at my U of L gym. And then I eventually started instructing there. And that was kind of my first entry into group fitness and that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So what sports did you play?
In high school, I played softball and I ran cross country, which is such a random combination, but
it worked. That's cool.
Yeah, it worked for me.
Yeah. So with that being said, how did you choose to become a fitness instructor? What made you want to do that?
Yeah. So one of my first group fitness experiences was actually I spent a summer in DC, and I went to this thing it was called November Project. And it was a free group workout, and you would meet at the Lincoln Memorial on Wednesday mornings. And it was just a cool, you didn't need weights, you didn't need money, nothing. You just showed up, and it was a huge group of people. But those 2 instructors were had the highest energy, were so positive. And I was like, hey, I want to do that. Like, that looks so fun. Like, I could be like that. So that just kind of like started to like trick my mind into like wanting to do that. I eventually went back to U of L, and I was like, I'm going to just teach a class here. So I started teaching like an interval training type of class at the U of L gym. And then I started working desk at Cycle Bar. And those instructors basically like changed my life. I was like, this is the coolest job ever. Like, I want to do that. So that's where I started. So I started just taking class literally all the time. I would take like twice a day, 3 times a day. And then eventually they're like, you should probably just try out.
Yes, that's awesome. And that's so funny because I remember when Cycle Bar didn't have 2 studios in town. They had just the one in St. Matthews, and you working desk. And then I remember like coming to your beginning classes. I remember even saying that to you like not too long ago. And you're like, that was probably horrible, but you weren't.
I know. I'm like, God, I would like die to see some of like the video footage of my first classes. I would. It's so awesome. Funny.
Yes. And of course, the more you do things, the more you improve, and you can tell that the passion is there. So it's awesome. Cool to see. So another thing, I'm sure I'm not the only one that sees Mady like journaling and things on her stories and all the positivity, which is awesome. But do you think that the journaling, what made you get into that? And do you think that impacts your life and even your fitness and you?
Right. So journaling has always just been like, I just love to write. I've always been like in my feels, and like feeling like I need to write. So I started journaling probably in like middle school, and it just kind of kept up through like high school and stuff. But recently, actually during like the shutdown and quarantine and all that kind of stuff, I got really involved in having a gratitude practice in my journal, which one of like my biggest role models, I look up to this girl. Her name's actually Mady too. She's a cycling instructor in Boston. She was like, you need to have a gratitude practice every single morning. Just take the time to sit down, write 5 things that you're incredibly grateful for. And then from there, you can kind of build like a journal prompt around it. So what I do every morning is I write down my 5 things I'm super grateful for. And then I write 5 kind of like smaller short-term goals. And then I write 5 longer term, like thinking like huge goals. And then I kind of write like a mantra or like an affirmation for the day. Something just like have in the forefront of my mind. But that whole gratitude practice has completely changed, like shifted my mornings, because I wake up super early. But if I give myself a few minutes before like the world turns on to sit down and really think about what I'm grateful for, it just is like a mindset shift. But yeah, and then also like with the dreams and like goals, like the short term and the long term, it just starts your day like already thinking about what the purpose is going to be for your day, or like what each of these small tasks is like eventually leading up to. So it just puts you in like a right headspace.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's true because I've been reading a lot of self-development books this year. And they talk about that, like in one of them in particular, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called The Secret. It has like movies and all this stuff. But they talk so much about like the power of the mind and the power of positive thinking and just your thoughts, period. And if you can focus on the good, then how that just grows, that continues to grow and it multiplies, and it then feeds into flows into every other area of your life, and how powerful that is. That's amazing. That's awesome. So I'm definitely taking mental note of that. I'm going to steal some of that when I
and it's like, it's not anything crazy. Like sometimes like my gratitude for the morning will be like, I'm so thankful for this hot cup of coffee, or like, I'm so thankful for the new leggings that I'm wearing. Like, it doesn't have to be anything like super like on a deep level, but just thinking about even the smallest things, it just like is a mind trigger that you're like starting your day in a little bit of light and positivity, instead of just like all of a sudden getting into all the tasks that you have to do.
Yes. I mean, so that feeds into my next question. I think that like, I know I keep going back to when people take a class, but seriously, I feel that there's just like such good energy that you give off. And like, seriously, like the instructor sets the tone. They set the atmosphere. They determine whether everyone feels welcomed or if they feel like an outcast. All of that. I'm serious. Like I've been in classes where I was like, okay, I'm never coming back to that studio because I don't feel like I'm even welcome there. You know, but I've been in places where I'm like, oh, that was awesome. Like you feel so energized afterwards. How do you keep that passion so consistent? How do you do that? I'm sure you don't wake up every day like feeling amazing, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, no, some days, I mean, every day is not easy, but it really is just knowing that like even the smallest like word that you speak or even just like the smallest inspiration could completely change someone's day. So just kind of making it bigger than me because I'll wake up and be like, I'm dead tired. Like I don't really have a lot of energy, but then I'm like, you know what, this 45-minute class, this 60-minute class, whatever could be the best part of someone's day. And you don't know that. So just being able to like make it a little bit bigger than just like me teaching a class, like making it just like a bigger reason as to why. Also all of the like self-development books. I straight up listen to like YouTube motivational videos sometimes when I'm like real low and I'm like, get it together, Mady. We're gonna type in Matthew McConaughey inspiration video on YouTube. But little stuff like that. Music is like a huge inspiration to me. That always helps me feel energized, ready, gives me some light. But all that kind of stuff. But really the biggest motivator is just like digging a little bit deeper than like surface level, like I'm tired, or surface level, like I'm going to work. Just making it like, no, this could change someone's course of their day. This could change someone's course of their week, year, whatever it is. Just making it deeper.
That's so true. And that makes me think about like it starts with why.
Yep.
Like how it does. I mean, your why will be enough to keep you going,
right. Exactly. When all else feels bad, it's like your purpose, your why, like your reason for just like putting your feet on the ground in the morning will help you be able to overcome a lot of things.
Absolutely. Okay, so kind of shifting gears, but we're in the new year. A lot of people have all these like fitness goals. So what is something simple for someone who doesn't consistently work out? Maybe they do want to be, more fit.
Right.
What advice do you have for them?
The biggest advice that I have, which I need to take myself probably, is like every single day is going to be different. Like you can't, every single day you should probably just be able to like meet your body where it is. Like when you feel really good, have an amazing workout, like push an extra mile, like push whatever you want. But on those days that like you feel kind of like your body's run down and tired, like don't be afraid to take a rest day, or don't be afraid to like go a little bit slower, not give as much, because your body's changing, shifting. Like there's so many different like factors into how you feel that when you're just starting out, especially, like, I mean, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Just know that yesterday isn't going to look like today or 2 months from now. Like every single day is a little bit different. And then just honestly, like consistency, which is like part of everything. If you're willing to like remain consistent at something, you're going to see progress, even if
Absolutely.
it's small. Yeah. So just like holding yourself accountable, maybe having a buddy, that always helps me. I'm like, girl, we going to class or what? And so that always helps me a lot.
Yes, that's so true. That accountability is like next to none because, I don't know if have you ever heard of 75 hard? I'm sure you have, right?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
nuts.
Yes.
I decided I was going to do that with some friends, but there's no way I would have made it for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's intense, girl.
I know, right? I'm like, this is totally a mental thing, but I wanted that
Yes.
challenge. But I wouldn't be able to do it without my accountability friends. I know
Right.
that because there's days that you forget or you just don't feel like it. So that's
Right.
totally true. Everything that she said, listen to those those
And that's
those
like,
words of advice.
it's such a piece about group fitness too, is like, you already know like there's going to be your friends in class and like that community that you see every week, and you don't want to, like, you feel like a part of you doesn't want to let them down, or like but that keeps you going, and it's fun. It's like, I already know they're going to be in class tonight and it's going to be fun. So if I just get there and like I just keep going, then you're going to start to see like so many changes.
Absolutely. I agree. Okay, so another kind of similar question, maybe someone that's new to cycle or interval training. What's some advice for that? I've taken your class before, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, truly, like, just kind of going in and not putting so much pressure on yourself. Like your first few classes, you're probably not going to get everything, and nobody does. Like you don't have to hold yourself accountable to like some high level, like that the instructor is doing everything. Like we've been doing this for years. Obviously, like we're getting it, but not everyone in the class is, and nobody's paying attention. Like everyone's really just trying to get through the class themselves. So just like taking the stress and like the drama off of yourself, and like kind of like being able to get out of your head. I feel like that's like the biggest piece of advice. And just try everything. Like don't be afraid to try something just because you're like, oh, I don't think I could do that. But like, just try it. And if you fail, like, don't be afraid to fail. You know, it's going to happen, and you just try it again and again, and then you'll get it. And you're like, oh, there it is.
Yes.
So yeah, no stress. I literally tell every new person that in class. I'm like, there is no stress to like get out in third for your first ride. Like, you might not ever leave the saddle if you're cycling, and that's cool. Like, you're here. That's the first step. And then you just keep building on that. So no stress, no drama, no worries.
Yes, yes, that's definitely good because, like you said, I mean, especially if it's your first time,
Yeah,
how are you gonna?
exactly. Like, just walking through the door is like a huge step. So just be proud that you're there, and
Yes.
everything else is just for fun. Like, try everything, and it doesn't have to be so serious.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, another question that I have for you is what advice, okay, do you have for someone that's an aspiring instructor or maybe they're just getting started?
Right.
You know, what advice do you
Yeah.
have?
So I think the biggest advice, and actually I feel like someone probably told me this too when I first started, is just like, instructing is one of those jobs that like you have to do it so much, and like you get better every single class, and you learn something from every single class. So you can't be afraid to just like put yourself out there and do it as much as you can. Like, every opportunity that you have to like teach and get on the podium or get on a mic, it's just like every single class you get a little bit deeper into who you are and what you want, and it's literally about doing it over and over and over and over again, and like knowing that every class isn't going to be absolutely amazing. You're not always going to feel like, oh wow, like that was a life-changing class. Like, those are like sparkly, like, oh my gosh, that class was amazing, and you keep it with you. But then, you know, there's going to be classes that like you don't feel that great, but you learn from them, and you're like, okay, well, you just have to keep showing up. And that's like the biggest thing, is like you just show up and you show up and you show up, and eventually you're just like more and more comfortable. You get deeper and grounded into who you are, and then eventually you're just like, whoa, it's been 3 years and I've learned all this stuff. So honestly, showing up. And one of the biggest things too is completely being yourself and owning like what you like. You don't have to try to be anyone else. Like, it's easy when you're first starting out to try to like want to, I guess, like mold yourself into your favorite instructor or act like a certain instructor that you've seen on Instagram or whatever it is. But when you're truly you, that's when people connect to you and like feel a genuine and real connection.
Yeah.
So just not being unafraid to just speak your truth, be who you are up there.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't need another duplicate of somebody else.
Exactly. It's like
People
they're
want
already
you.
making it work for them, and now
Right.
you've got to find like your own little piece.
Yes. 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 Okay. So I like to end with a fun fact. So, Mady, what is your fun fact about you?
I don't know. I'm so bad at fun fact stuff, but I guess my fun fact is I have a legit giant cat. His name is Daniel.
Really?
And he's huge. Like, when I say like he's big, and then I'll show a picture of him and people are like, oh right, he's massive. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
Daniel is like my heart. I love him.
Yes.
And then I don't know, we kind of talked about like when I journal, I go and get coffee at Quill's, which is like
Yes.
my favorite place. So if anybody's watching from Louisville, Quill's is the best coffee. So that's a fun fact.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mady. But before we go, for those that, well, thank you for those that watch live, that tune in live, hop on live, and that will watch the replay. But where can people go to stay in touch with you if they want to follow along?
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty active on Instagram. So you can follow me at Mady_Martin. And then like Facebook, it's Mady Martin. And then all the studios that I teach at. So Cycle Bar in Middletown, Shred Highlands and Shred 415 Hurstburn, and Yoga State. And that's pretty much where I'm at all day, every day. So
Yes, when you posted your schedule, I was like, oh my God, she teaches more classes than I thought.
I know it is wild. That's why I'm literally in the car right now. I'm like, well, I don't have time to go home. Let me just chill in the car.
Well, thank you. I so appreciate you and everything that you've given during this time.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Yes. Well, thank you all, and we'll see you later, Mady.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. As I always do, I'll post the replay and it'll also be on my YouTube channel. Next week, we also have another amazing guest. But thank you all so much for watching your weekly Wellness Dose Mondays Muse. I typically feature some type of product. Today, I'm just going to mention the 30 days again. I am doing the second round of Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living. You also might have heard me say I'm doing 75 hard, which has been crazy. So if you need accountability for that, maybe you're doing it and you need a group of people to encourage you to do this along with you, I'd love to help you out. We can start another group. I have some more people that I just found out recently that are doing it. They don't have accountability. So I'd love to help join in with you. But yes, Arbonne's 30 days is a way to determine what is serving you and your body and what doesn't serve your body. So maybe you're having inflammation, headaches, extreme fatigue. You're really counting on that extra coffee boost midday. Whatever it is, I'd love to help you help determine what's going to be best for you and your body and your diet and just your lifestyle, all the things. Feel free to send me a message, an email, whatever you like. All my contact information is in my Instagram account, linked on Victoria L. Staten right here on Instagram. But yes, tune in next week at 3 p.m. We'll have another amazing guest. It's going to be awesome. I hope y'all have a great week. And again, thank you for watching your weekly Wellness Dose Mondays Muse, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.